Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video, first off, a little bit late, but hey, sooner than last year's anniversary video. It has been 6 whole years of YouTube, which is just, on a personal level with this, it's astonishing. It really is. I said this before in prior videos. It's really surprising to me and my friends and family that I have been able to stick with something for 6 whole years, because growing up, I had a really bad penchant for hobby hopping. So the fact that I was able to stick with this for 6 years plus now is just it blows my mind on a personal level, and I know it's quite amusing to my friends and family, especially my parents and my sisters, who are really surprised I even took this whole hobby on, because I grew up with social anxiety, and I grew up being afraid of being on camera and being afraid of certain things, and that kind of stuff. And it's pretty, they think it's amusing that I was able to do this for 6 whole years without burnout or losing interest or anything like that. It's actually pretty surprising. But regardless of all that personal stuff, to avoid sounding like a broken record with a lot of my other anniversary videos, because I really do mean this. It's just, I say it every video, it's just, I mean it, I really do. Thank you all so much for being with this little channel here, joining up, liking, subscribing, helping this little hobby channel of mine grow and keep growing for the past 6 years. It really does mean a lot. I'll be honest, I really don't pay too much attention to analytics or anything like that unless I get an alert from something that YouTube Studio does, like, hey, you hit this milestone, or hey, you have this many watch hours, or hey, here's your month in review. I really don't pay attention to analytics, but it's one of those neat things that when I do look at the analytics and I see how many people, like my content, watch my videos, and subscribe to me, it's actually really surprising. I know that in the grand scheme of things, if I was to really quantify it down and be focus on the numbers, just shy of 1,300 subscribers doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's actually quite a bit, all things considered. That's 1,300 people, nearly anyway, at the time of me recording this, that enjoy my spastic recording schedule, my randomness, my ramblings, my sometimes crappy video lighting and audio, which again, I'm having more audio problems, which is why hopefully this all turns out very well. But yeah, seriously, thank you all so much for the past 6 years of this little hobby channel. It means a lot. I know I've said it before in prior videos and prior anniversaries, and it's one of those things, if you keep repeating it, eventually it's going to lose its sentimentality. But no, I do mean this. Thank you all so much for the past 6 years. Everyone who's ever subscribed, commented, liked, viewed any of my other social medias that I've been putting out for the past I think year or two now, that I've really been hammering on trying to keep things going with that, which I will come back to later on in the video. It's been an amazing 6 years, and I seriously want to thank you all for it. And from the bottom of my heart, seriously, thanks for putting up with me for the past 6 years. I really do mean it, and I really do appreciate it. Anyway, yes, 6 years, year 6 of YouTube. This was, I will fully admit, I was not expecting anything that had happened this year, just in terms of, mainly retro hauls that I've done this year that just exponentially increased the amount of machines that are down in my computer room here, which is, yes, where I'm recording this video right now, because usually it's in my game room, which is completely destroyed at the moment. I'll do a short update thing in there. I do apologize for the mess. I got a wild hair and decided to do something stupid and rearrange everything again, because I can't leave anything alone, but like usual. But yeah, year 6, was not expecting anything that happened this year in terms of adding to the collection, to the hoard down here in my computer room. Um, and as I say that, I don't remember exactly when the first bit of me finding the Apple II stuff was. I know it was last year. I think it was late last year, actually, right after I did the 5-year anniversary thing. But yeah, between basically almost quadrupling the amount of vintage Apple stuff that I had down here in this computer room in a year, especially with how I got some of that stuff, was just absolutely mind-boggling to me. And it's not done yet. If you can believe it. For a little bit of context for what I am talking about with that, on my channel, if you go check my content listings, I came across originally there was a gentleman that came into my work and handed me, well, asked me if I like collecting old computers and wanted if I know if I wanted this stuff that was from his late uncle. It was 2 Apple IIes, 2 Apple II monitors, 3 Duo-Disk drives, bunch of floppies, bunch of software, bunch of uh, manuals and documentations and stuff for various things. And that was just amazing as it was, because I was trying to find an Apple IIe for my collection as well. I had a 2GS and I had the Bell & Howell 2 Plus, but I didn't have a 2E, and I was kind of looking for one because it kind of fills that gap when it comes to, well, there's some things that 2 Plus can't do, and then there's things that the 2GS with its hardware that's in it is just vastly overkill for some things. But then later on, I made a throwaway comment on a Facebook posting. It was a completely throwaway comment. It wasn't even on my YouTube's Facebook page. It was on my personal Facebook page, which I usually have been avoiding using that for anything involving the channel, just because I want to keep things, my personal life and all my things with that, separate from my YouTube and social media stuff. I made a throwaway comment on a Facebook posting, and it got me in contact with a gentleman that, if you had seen some other prior videos that I talked about this gentleman as well, he basically said he had a bunch of Apple stuff that he was trying to offload because, his health wasn't that great, and he was already told by his family that if anything happens to him, that the house was being purged and stuff was going to be thrown because he was a hoarder. Well, he didn't want a lot of that stuff thrown out because a lot of it was. It's weird because I don't like to think of the value of things that I have been given, because it's that weird feeling of like, I quantify why I have it, which is not why I have it. I don't have it for the value of it. I have it for the provenance with it, with the historical aspect of it, the fact that they're retro machines. But he knew that this stuff was extremely valuable, and he didn't want it to just be destroyed or tossed. So when I said absolutely I was interested in it, he made the drive up here because he was meeting up with some family anyway. And in a prior video, uh he brought up a Apple II Plus, which, as you can see behind me. He brought another Apple IIe, a very early revision model. He brought up an Apple III, and just binders and books of documentation and floppy and all this stuff. And turns out he was a pretty high. I don't know if he was a high level or whatever it was. He didn't really go into too much detail of it, but he said he was a pretty up there technician in the engineering department of Apple up until like 84. He left shortly before the Lisa was released, which the sheer fact, the sheer fact that a very small YouTuber content creator like myself, who just does this stuff as a hobby, was able to meet up with somebody who has real hands-on history and providence with one of the best known computer companies when it comes to retro machines and retro computers and vintage stuff. I was able to meet up with him, and not only that, be basically donated so much Apple II provenance and Apple II hardware and software. It actually blew my mind. Well, then a couple weeks ago, he messaged me back again and said that he had found even more stuff in his attic. This time, even more documentation, more software, and a bunch more hardware, including in-box Apple games, Lisa documentation, and all this kind of stuff, which he brought up because he made the trip north again. Because apparently it's wherever he's traveling to meet friends, it's easier to go this far north and then head west. And the thing is, with this gentleman, me and him have been talking back and forth about things. I've been asking him some questions, and I did tell him, hey, you should probably join up some of the discords I'm in, because we love having the old guard in a lot of those discords and chat groups. That way, especially technicians and engineers, we love that kind of stuff. And don't know if he's ever going to, but hopefully he does, because just to have another of the old guard in there that could give advice or anecdotes or personal, viewpoints on things would be just astonishing. But to top it off with how amazing it was, I met with this guy twice, and he brought basically 4 Apple machines and just hundreds of pounds of software and documentation and parts and hardware and cards. He's not done yet. He said he knows he has an Apple III monitor and maybe the profile hard drive. He had the controller card for it. He thinks he has another Apple II Plus. He thinks he might actually have an original Apple II, plus a bunch more expansion cards and stuff, software, because he's pretty certain he had Lisa software. He's fairly certain he did, because again, he quit right before the Lisa was released. And he did apparently, from what he said, do some technical engineering with the Lisa and the early Macintosh. So I'm actually concerned about what all he's going to be bringing this next time, because this gentleman alone has basically quadrupled the amount of Apple stuff I have in my basement. And I do want to clarify something really quick. No, I'm not going to be hoarding all of the documentation and the schematics, the Lisa binders. A lot of that stuff I'm going to be going through, and if there's duplicates of, I'm going to be doing something to get them out into the community to people who want them or need them, whether it's up on eBay, a buy sell trade post on a Discord, something. And he said, he has no problem with me selling it. He'd rather have it out there in the hands of the community anyway, rather than being tossed in the trash. So, it's just, I need to go through and see what I fully have in terms of duplicates, and then start taking pictures of, posting them on some of the Discord groups I'm in first, give them first shot at it, and then go on to eBay. As you can imagine, last year, just in terms of, and not just that, but also a lot of some other stuff that I had come across that I haven't got my hands on yet. I have a lead on 2 more Apple II GSs. That's not from this gentleman. I have a lead on a TRS-80 Model 1. I have a lead on a TRS-80 Model, I think, 4, and another Commodore 64. I have a lead on so many old computers, and it's because, well, of this channel. I am getting slowly over my social anxiety and the nervousness when it comes to talking to random people about stuff. So I'm starting to branch out a little bit more and just have the confidence to ask. And it's actually really, really nice. But yeah, regardless of that, it's just, I have so much stuff that I have yet to go through. If you did see that live, just boxes of stuff. It's still in the boxes. I'm slowly getting it organized and put away. I've got some of the documentation stuff on the shelf over there. I've got the games and floppies and stuff I need to sort through and see what needs to be done with those and put where. It just, yeah, this whole year, just year 6 in terms of me finding retro machines like all at once, is just, it's just astonishing. It really was. And I made this joke in the live, if anybody saw it, that when it comes to finding retro machines, I either find maybe 1, maybe 2 little things, like maybe a book, maybe a box of floppies, maybe a single computer, little things like that. Or I come across an entire hoard's worth, it seems. Because, yeah, the whole thing with the apples last year has just been astonishing. Because in basically a calendar year, I've gotten 5 Apple machines, 2 monitors, 2 Apple printers, just boxes of software and fly. It's I saying it out loud, it's still just in awe. I'm in awe of all of it. Oh, jeez. And with that, obviously, as you can see behind me, if you've seen some of my prior videos, I've been doing a lot of, well, rearranging stuff when it comes to the computer room and the game room, which, again, you'll see it's a huge mess. It's not as clean as it was before when I did the last game room tour. In fact, it's not even going to be a full game room tour video. I'm not going to be doing that for a while until I get things settled in there. But yeah, I've been reorganizing everything, trying to get it to be more modular, if that makes sense. And that's something I want to talk about when I go into talking about the future, what I'm going to be doing for the channel, is keeping things kind of a little bit separated to make it a little bit easier when I do certain types of content. So I'm going to go get some footage of the game room real quick, show the disaster area that it is, and then do a short little tour of the computer room here, and then we're going to talk about the future of the channel and some of the things I hopefully I'm going to be doing for the next, well, hopefully going into next year, if all pans out good. So let's go take a look at those and Then we'll go into the future of the channel.
Okay, and here we are in the disaster area that is the game room. I absolutely hate the way this looks. It looks awful. I hate it, but yeah, you can kind of see what I'm going with here and doing. So it's just a disaster right now, and there's a lot of reasons why. Just work and weather, and on the flip side of that, good weather and spending more time outside and stuff like that. But anyway, is I'm missing some carpet squares, as you can see. Um, Earlier this month we had just a deluge of rainfall, and a window I thought I had fixed on the other side of this door in the wall started to leak again. Not a lot. It literally was just about from right here, this line here, and a little bit on the other side of the door, and it just wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough that it just irritated the crap out of me. I soaked these carpet squares. Luckily, there was nothing over there, but yeah, all these carpet squares got wet in some way, so I had to take them outside, let them dry, extract them with a carpet cleaner, got them all clean. I just haven't put them back up yet. But as you can kind of see, I've moved things around completely. I came across this Cord Entertainment Center. It's vintage 90s, and I love it. It fits my Trinitron perfectly. So I thought, hey, why am I having the 90s TV and that corner over there is exposed concrete when this corner is basically finished? So I moved the entertainment center, the DV player, the VCR, the Laserdisc, and all the 90s and early 2000s console, and made this kind of the, well, it's kind of a 90s, early 2000s-ish corner. Spare controllers. Got some knick-knack stuff on the walls and on the shelf, which I like that look a lot better. I need to fill that space out a lot more with some posters and some more decorative stuff, but, you know, work in progress. I got a Blu-ray player, which is redundant because I have the PS3, but I like having dedicated players. My Wii and Wii U, my Xbox 360E. Yeah, this stuff is basically the modern-ish consoles with a flat screen TV. So now we have the moved 80s corner, which was over there, but I have it set up over here for right now. And the reason for that is because I kind of want this to be, well, like I said, the 70s and 80s corner. My goal is I wanted everything to be made so I could just pull everything away from that concrete wall. Because I plan on building a, not really a wall per se, it's basically going to be just a bunch of furring strips down it, attached to the concrete in some way, attached to the floor, and then cover that wall in nice wood grain. Same with that wall. When I rebuild that shelf, it's going to be pulled everything back and cover that wall with something to kind of hide it better than just using the games to do that. And for right now, I do have the computers over here in this corner. Um, my goal is I want this desk, or I don't even know about the desk itself or not, but I just want all the computer stuff out of this room. Maybe save for one computer. I don't know if it's the XP or the Windows 7 yet, but a computer in here that's kind of retro that I would have had in my bedroom growing up. And it's kind of the goal-ish for me doing some of this stuff is I want this to kind of be reminiscent of the bedroom that I had as a kid, with, like, because I remember playing the Nintendo and stuff on a small TV like that when I was a kid growing up. And then the bedroom I had as a teenager, in which I would have been playing, you know, the GameCube and the OG Xbox and the PlayStation 1, and the fusion of those bedrooms, and then the, well, the game room, the man cave, like have it be, you know, a fusion of all three. And that's kind of what's going on down here. I just don't know how far I want to go with it. I did think about putting, because I found my childhood bed. I thought it'd be really cool to get it set up in the corner, not far different from how my childhood bedroom was, because it was up against the wall in the corner. Find a mattress for it and just have it be like a stage prop thing, like have it be in the background, you know, have like the Power Rangers sheet set or Lion King sheet set or something I would have had as a kid. But there is a bit of an issue with me doing that. And for anyone who's into construction may immediately know what my problem is with that. And I'm talking with some code guys to make sure that I can actually do it in the gray area that I want to do it. If not, then I'm not going to bother with the bed. But anyway, yeah, that's the destroyed game room. It's a mess because I'm in progress of my ADHD decided I can't leave anything alone. But yeah, I'm going to be working on cleaning this thing up on rainy days and stuff to get it back to where I can play some games down here, because I haven't played any games down here in a couple weeks just because I've been just hating everything about this. All right. Anyway, I'm done. Let's go look at the computer room. All right, and here's the work in progress, but way better organized than it was computer room. The IBMs and the K Pro over here on this shelf. I got the 5150, the K Pro Turbo XT, some IBM document binders for DOS 2.1 and basic. Then I have the 5160 and the 5170 over here with their respective monitors. I've got the printers down there for right now. Not a great fit for them, but they're up and out of the way. Got the Apple II Plus and the working Apple IIe there with the TI-99 4A and a spoiler for a future video. I got my future projects for the early 2E, the 2E Enhanced, the Bell & Howell, and the Apple III. Those are all I need to get those done. They've been on my list for too long. Got my 8-bit stuff there. I got my Coco, the VIC-20, the Atari XE. Next to that, we've got my one and only working dumb terminal, which I have future plans for that with the PDP-11. We got my RLX HD, which is just kind of storing some stuff right now. It was right here, but you can kind of see I got some stuff on it with my Commodore 64. Some other computer stuff, my Osborne, that daisy wheel printer for the HX. I've been sorting. Right now is kind of this is where I've been recording some videos at, because I kind of like the backdrop I have. I want to build some more shelves. This is all some of the documentation stuff that I picked up in those retro hauls that I talked about, that I talk about in this video and the prior videos, that I'm sorting out to see what I have duplicates of. Right now, this is just all the boxes of stuff that I went through in that live, and I've been sorting through. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff. There's a in pieces Atari 1040 STF, missing this floppy drive. Hopefully I can get that to work. Bunch of spare parts and stuff for the Apple II line. In-box Apple II stuff. It's just sitting over here until I can get it sorted. Which is this shelf here. This did have a bunch of spare parts, motherboards, keyboards, floppy drives, CD drives. I'm clearing this off to make room for all this stuff. As you can see, the software, I need to go through all those floppies and get them better sorted. As you can see, I've got the documentation somewhat sorted by what they are, not fully. I've got Apple II and 3 schematics. I got more maintenance manuals for the Apple II and 3, more documentation for the 2 and 3. This is all stuff like Pascal, CenterTech, programmers guides, more documentation for like Fortran. We got some software folders. These books here are specifically for the Apple II, like the old Apple II, not the II Plus. Reference manual, AppleSoft 2, AppleSoft tutorial, DOS 3.2, and the DOS manual for 3.3. This is for the Apple IIc, which I do not have yet, but it's epic. This is all Apple IIe stuff. This is a container just full of, I believe this is all just generic 3.5-inch floppies I need to sort through yet. Some spare parts I still need to get off the shelf for storing some documentation. My goal is I want to get that shelf. I want to finish that wall there with the same thing as the other game room wall, with some furring strips and lath and stuff, so I can attach some shelving, because I'd love to put that up there. Still some more spare parts I gotta get rid of. This is my current 16-bit corner. I got the Amiga 500 and my Apple II GS. Lisa binders I need to get to their future home, because somebody is interested in them. So yeah, this is the work in progress computer room.
All right, so now that we've got the game room disaster looked at and the pan around the computer room here, I want to talk about a little bit about the future upcoming stuff that I want to do with both of these rooms. That way it kind of will eventually make sense as to why I'm doing things the way I'm doing it. So the big thing is I want to get all of the computer stuff, well, most of the computer stuff anyway, out of that room and into this room. I want to have this room be the functional setup museum, if you will, of these vintage machines. As you saw when I did the walk around earlier, I have the IBMs and the PC clone over here kind of chilling. This is just, it's all hooked up. I'm just gauging how I like it. I have the Apples I have the Apple II Plus and the Apple IIe behind me. I have the TI-99 with its PEB module over here, which that's actually a future video. Spoiler alert for that one. But then this corner desk over here, like I said, is going to be the 8 bits, the Commodore, the Atari, the Coco, and have it just be 8-bit stuff. And then this desk probably going to have something where I can easily move it off and on for recording videos like this, doing lives, doing anything like that. Um, Over there, I want to have all the 16-bit stuff, the Amiga, the Apple II GS, the Atari, if I can get it to work. I need to get a video cable or video adapter that goes to VGA because, like I've said in prior videos, that Hans GHL 161, I think, LCD mod screen is the only screen I have in my entire collection down here that accepts a 15 kilohertz VGA signal that the Atari and the Amiga both put out. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get that monitor to work with the Atari and I can at least see if it'll function. Because I want the 16 bits over there. And then the bench that's behind me, where I've been putting all the documentation, I've been putting it was my old workbench. Is I want that to be the 32-bit and up stuff. Basically, the 46, the Pentiums, the Athlon 64s. Like I want to have a basically a bunch of towers set up underneath it, off the floor, obviously, and then a couple monitors that have Windows 95, 98, XP, 7, just a variety of the modern-ish computers over there. As for all the documentation and the floppies and software and stuff, I'm going to be kind of softly finishing the concrete walls, putting lath up there with some water-resistant drywall with an air gap, um, and that kind of stuff. Paint it. That way I can put up, shelving and stuff, so I can put the books, the documentations, the floppy software, the inbox stuff, and have just this room be nothing but computers. The functional display. Everything in here is going to be functional, set up, working as it should or as it's intended. That way, if I want to play adventure on the 5150, I can just flip the big orange switch and get to typing. If I want to play, I'm going to butcher this name, Karateka, Karaka. I'm butchering that name. Oh my god! I just saw somebody pronounce it correctly on a YouTube video, and now I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, if I want to play it on the Apple II Plus, I can. If I want to play Zork on the 2E, I can. If I want to play Attack of the Pesky Robots or Grid Runner on the 64, I can. If I want to play Zaxxon on the Atari, I can. If I want to play Battle Chess, I can. I can just get things working. I want to have printers set up. That way I can have things set up and working down here as it should. Functional museum is kind of what I'm going for with this down here. As for the game room, like I said, I want all the computers, most of the computers out of there. I think I might have one computer in there. I think it might be an XP machine. I'm not 100% certain yet. But I want that to be it's kind of weird. I want it to be a fusion of several different rooms. I want it to be a fusion of my childhood bedroom when I was a young kid. I want it to be partially the bedroom I had as a teenager growing up. And I want it to be kind of that bedroom I wanted to have when I was a teenager in high school and in college that I would have had or could have had if, I was more into collecting games at the time and been on more on top of stuff when I was a teenager. I just decided to wait till I was an adult to do all that stuff, which is now almost much more fun in a lot of ways. But that does mean I need to make a few more changes down here to the basement. I'm going to be walling off another section of the basement. That way I can have a workbench in there where I can work on the computers, record me working on the computers, that kind of stuff, have bins of parts, hardware and all that kind of stuff in a completely separate area out of this room, because this is supposed to be the display. That's going to be the working thing. There's going to be another section of the game room that is going to be near the basement access stairs that I'm going to be putting all the VHS tapes, the DVD, the Blu-ray, the physical media. I have it all stored there. And while we're on the topic of future things for the channel, I do want to talk about some of the things that are going to be coming up in regards to what I'm doing for the channel. I'm still going to be posting on TikTok, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram as I can and as I think about it. I probably should be posting more consistently on there. I know I should if I want to get followers built up. But again, it's the same thing with YouTube. I'm not too persistent on gaining, subscribers and hitting, I'd love to hit 10,000 subs. I'd love to hit 100,000 subs. I'd love to hit that monetization threshold. Mainly just because that way it'd be more of a personal, like, hey, my channel made it. I'm a validation kind of thing, but not because, I want the subscribers. It'd be neat to see a hobby that what I'm doing slowly start to become what could be considered in a lot of quantifications to be a real channel. But anyway, that's side tangent stuff. I'm still going to be posting on all my social medias as often as I can and as often as I can remember. So TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm going to be posting shorts. I haven't posted as many shorts lately. I will admit that's mainly because I like the way I can do on TikTok better because that gives me up to like 5 minutes, I believe. YouTube Shorts, I've had like 4 or 5 issues of a shorts wanting to go up, but it's not being put in the shorts section, being put in the video section, and for some reason YouTube tries to correct it and make it, instead of vertical, makes it horizontal, which then adds bars, and I don't know why YouTube does it. But regardless of that, I'm again going to be posting on all those social medias. With that, I am going to be saying this since I went live and I did get everything to work for live. I'm going to be going live a little bit more often, and I really don't have a schedule for that yet. I went live on a Sunday, and it seemed to work out pretty well. But the thing is that Sundays is also the weekend. That's also when I spend time with family because the weather's really nice, and we're out late. Out to my dad's, we're out to her folks, or we're just out and about on the weekends anyway, spending time like families should. It was just kind of a happenstance fluke that I had time to do it that Sunday. I'm kind of leaning towards doing a live at some point during the week after work. Don't know yet, but I do want to start going live at least once a week or every other week for an hour or two and just get some stuff done in the game room or computer room that don't want to make a video on, but a live would be a lot more fun because that way I could interact with all of you because that's actually really fun. I had a really fun interaction on my YouTube live with somebody that I've actually interacted with before on Discord, and we've been chatting off and on and that kind of stuff. And actually, the gentleman that I was talking to on my YouTube live was actually the one who got me in contact with the gentleman that helped me pick up a PDP-11, which I forgot to mention that with all the stuff about the Apple II stuff. I also picked up a mini computer. It's not a full size one, so don't get excited. It's just the compute unit. I need to start working on that, and I want to start doing that in a live because I think that'd be a lot of fun as well. So I think I'm either going to pick on like maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday, going live weekly or every other week, and just doing it for an hour or two, whether it's on YouTube Live here or TikTok. And with that, I do want to mention. Actually, I should have mentioned this before. If I remember, I'll cut it and move it over. But anyway, I've also been going live on Twitch playing Red Dead Online with my wife. And I've had a lot of fun doing that too. No camera, no microphone yet. I was just making sure I could stream on Twitch. And with that, I want to say that I want to keep things kind of separate. I want to keep YouTube Live being for the computer stuff, and I want to leave Twitch being for the retro game stuff, or just games in general. So if I stream on Twitch, it's going to be basically anything involving the games or game room, whether it's a retro game like Mario or Donkey Kong or Tetris, or maybe it's a modern game like Red Dead Online or Fallout 4, anything like. I want Twitch to be where I stream anything involving games. I want YouTube Live to be where I keep all of my computer stuff because that's where I started doing stuff on YouTube with computers, so I want to leave my computer stuff on YouTube Live. TikTok's going to be that kind of middle ground gray area where I'll either have it go, I'll either do TikTok Live with game stuff or computer stuff. Kind of want to have it be like in that middle ground area. That way it's kind of a crossover threshold point. So yeah, when it comes to streaming, any game stuff's going to be on Twitch, computer stuff's going to be on YouTube Live, and the TikTok's going to be one or the other. Just depends on how I feel and if I want to click live on TikTok when I'm doing either one. I have links for all my social medias all down in the description field of this video, as I have in almost all my videos. If a link doesn't work, I've actually had a few problems with a TikTok link working once in a while. Just search me up on TikTok, definitely casual PCs, and you'll you'll see me and my randomness on there too. As for streaming schedule, I really don't have that set in stone yet. I'm kind of leaning towards Tuesdays or Wednesday evenings. Monday I don't want to do because, well, that's the first day we work week, the first day back at work, and that's just hectic. And I don't want to do Fridays because that's the end of the week and things are people are trying to wind down and relax, and the weekends would work too. But again, don't want to interfere with family time on my end and that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking Tuesday or Thursday for streamings, and it's I'm gonna do more of a heads up than just the hour I did the first time I live streamed the other weekend. That was just oh, that was foolish on my part. Yeah, Tuesdays or Thursdays I'll be streaming YouTube live or TikTok and just do whatever I decide to do on there. It may be planned out, like I want to get the start working on the Apple III or the early Apple II, the early low numbered Apple IIe, or I might work on the PDP-11, or I might just sit here and we can talk about any topic involving the computer market right now, RAM prices, my thoughts on my opinions on certain things. Um, Same thing with TikTok. It's either going to be Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Now, as for Twitch streaming, I'm not 100% certain for that schedule either. It's the same thing in terms of when I want to do it. But since I don't use my mic or my camera for those, and I just stream the gameplay, it's not that hard for me to do that. So that could be any day. I could actually do that on Sundays just to you know stream something on the weekends. But again, I will give out a more finalized schedule as I start talking to my wife and getting things set up for that kind of stuff, because again, it's all also depends on what she's got going on too. I don't want to tell her she can't do something because, oh, I'm going to be streaming. So plus she's the one who's going to be moderating my stuff early on, so yeah, need to make sure things are cleared with her first. Something else for the future of the channel is I am going to be going to VCF Midwest this year. Not a booth, not a table. I'm just going to be going as a patron to see the sites, hopefully meet up with some other content creators and YouTubers, um, which I'm nervous about. Like I said, my social anxiety, I'm already getting anxious about it. Um, but yeah, I want to get out there and meet people. I want to get out there and meet fellow content creators, fellow YouTubers. Um, Maybe if time allows, I might try and get an autograph or two as whoever else is going to be there. Um, Not fully sure. I do plan on hopefully. I'm actually working with a local company here in my hometown that produces custom vinyl stuff, and seeing if I can get some custom stickers made to kind of just carry around with me. And if I meet up with anybody who wants a sticker for their laptop or PC case, I can hand out the logo for my channel, which is at least something I can do, because that's something else I want to start doing too, is really hammering on the merchandise stuff for the channel, um, instead of just what I've been doing passively, because I do have a merch store on, well, it's called Spring now, but on Teespring. And I've had it for the past few years, and I've actually been talking with the local company that's in my hometown for pricing to see if they're a little bit better than Teespring, which not really useful in a lot of regards because it takes them time to make shirts, but Teespring, they can make them almost right away and get them sent out. Either way, I am going to start working a little bit harder on the merchandise stuff. I'm going to be getting some stickers made for the channel, like case badges and that kind of stuff that I can put on my personal computers that I've restored, and also put on a merch store thing. Same with some custom stickers, get some different shirts made, that kind of stuff. It's kind of something that I just been passively doing. It's just a link on the bottom of my description field, but I might start once in a while, be a shill and push it. I just not sure how well it's going to work. And the final thing for the video in terms of regarding the future is I am considering starting a Patreon for the channel. One of the main reasons why is because I want this channel to grow. I want it to succeed, and I want it to go as far as I possibly can take it. And obviously things like merch sales and Patreon and YouTube super chats, which I don't really know how those work, and that kind of stuff would just be on the scale of, I guess financially would help the channel grow. Obviously, I want to say it real quick. If I do decide to do the Patreon, it's not going to be, I'm not going to be pretentious about, where I know where I stand in the ranking of YouTubers. I'm way down here. There's no way I could ever ask like 10, 15, $20 a month for the content I make. But dollar or two, and with the thing of, hey, your name's going to go somewhere in a credits listing on the video, much like I've seen Usagi Electric do and Tech Tangents do, and uh, I think Adrian's Digital Basement does it too, where he puts the Patreon names on the video somewhere. Maybe that might lead into what I do with the stickers. Maybe I'll, you know, anyone who signs up, I'll send out a sticker once a month or something. I don't know yet. Like it's something I'm thinking about doing, and it's basically to be transparent to help the channel, help the channel grow. Things are, I get, it, I know things are tight everywhere, things are tough, and that kind of stuff, and it's mainly just to help the channel grow and to be, like I said, transparent. Anything with merch sales, anything with Patreon, anything with monetization, if I ever hit it, or super chats, or TikTok uh, in monetization, or donations on any of the social media. Any of that stuff is going into the channel. It's not going into my personal bank account. It would go into a account just for the channel, and it would only be for the channel. If I need a hard drive for a vintage machine, it'd come out of that. If I need parts, come out of that. That's I want to be transparent about that. That's what I would use it for. The more that the more that I don't have to use my personal finances for, which realistically I don't use too much, but if I got to build shelves for the game room, then that comes out of it's all future stuff that I'm still trying to work out. I'm still doing research on the Patreon thing, to see how that's even going to work. But if I do get it going, I will be a shill for at least one video and mention that I have a Patreon. And the tiers would, I'd probably have one or two tiers, and it would literally be $1 or $2. Uh, and the bonus perks would be your name would be on the channel somewhere, whether it's over here in credits, up here as credits, or if I could get if I get one of these printers to print reliably and get another ink ribbon, like for the Image Writer 2, I could, type the patrons' names out and have it print out and scroll up or something at the end of a video or something. That because could be something neat. But yeah, again, that's all. That's all future planned stuff that is for the channel. Anyway, that being said, thank you all so much for watching this 6-year anniversary video. It's just astonishes me what has happened this year in terms of retro pickups and people I've interacted with and people I've talked to and um that kind of thing. I've interacted with so many people in the past year. It's just it blows my mind. It really does. And I seriously have every one of you to thank for it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being with me for the past 6 years. Um, I'm really excited for the future of the channel, especially with some of the changes I said I'm going to be making, like this being the functional display room, the game room being finished up, the workbench, me going to BCF Midwest hopefully, and getting streaming stuff set up. I'm really excited for what the future is going to be bringing for the next, for foreseeable future. So again, with all things said, seriously, thank you all so much for being with me for the past 6 years, putting up with me and my antics, and well, I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.